So we'll start today now. Now see, COVID-19 now disrupted the economy of the world, and economy is considered as a backbone. Economy is considered as a backbone behind military power or a power to influence the global political dynamics. So because of COVID, the structure जो as of now structure है, जो as of now structure है, that is US, Russia, up to some extent China. Now this US and Russia already had a weak economic structure. USA is now facing a huge challenge. China is somehow managing the things. So in this scenario, the author said that India got the chance to reshape the global order. India got the chance to so that it is a leader, it can lead the whole world for more prosperous humanity. So at a time when UNSC, G20, G7 and EU were not active, India stood out with its initiative to develop a joint response. For example, that is SARC fund to tackle COVID-19. We have seen that India has developed a SARC fund with other SARC countries, and India also contributed, that was $10 million for that SARC fund to fight for the disease here in the South Asian region. So rapid spread of coronavirus around the world has created fresh opportunities for creating a new global compact, and India can offer its leadership in this endeavor. Now see, you must be thinking that what are the areas where India can lead the way? What are the areas? कहाँ पर हम progress कर सकते हैं और कहाँ पर we can say that or we can lead the whole world. This is the first one is India can help build multilateral cooperation. India can help build multilateral cooperation. Now see, as of now we got the WTO, we got World Bank, we got IMF, we got United Nations also, you got number of other human rights agencies like UN Human Rights Council, you got UNESCO also. Now see, this WTO has been a bit biased. It has stalled Doha round of negotiation that was led by India. Now WTO is more biased towards the developed countries. Developed countries like Western Europe and also EU and Canada, North America, that is Canada and America. So these countries hijacked the WTO platform, and the issues of developing countries, especially India and other least developed countries, were neglected. The issues of farmers neglected. So now in this scenario, after COVID, India can reshape the working of WTO, promoting more multilateral cooperation, and also India enjoy good relation with multiple powers. India enjoy good relation with USA, good relation with Russia, and up to some extent East Asian countries, Japan, South Korea, and also China. And we can say India also enjoy now good relation with Israel and West Asian countries. So it is well regarded across the world. Second is India can share ideas and resources to develop an international mechanism for monitoring, verification, early warning, and cooperation among countries, including in vaccine development. So India can share ideas and resources to develop an international mechanism for monitoring, verification, early warning cooperation among countries, including in vaccine development. So in this multilateral cooperation, India can enhance the, or you can say create cooperative kind of atmosphere all over the world, because it enjoy the good relation with all the major powers, and also it can change the functioning of different multilateral bodies. There's some question, I think. Shreyas, what was supposed to happen in Doha talks? Doha talks came in 2001. The basic economics things. 2001. It was more about the concern of developing countries, concerns related with farmers, concerns related with developing countries' industries, export, and also related with the dumping of cheap products from developed countries into developing countries. Tariff protection, tariff protection of the product that we export to developed countries. So those are the issues clubbed together in a single agenda that was called Doha Round of Agenda, because it happened in Doha, Qatar, because that was the summit of WTO happened in Doha, Qatar. So that's why it is called Doha Round, and it has number of issues that were related with farmers, agriculture, related with some industry, developing countries, tariff protection, export protection of the products from developing countries and least developed countries. We got it, Shreyas? Yeah, okay, okay, good. So next one is India can make efforts to strengthen Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora sites जो अभी हुआ था. So in the light of COVID-19, there is a need for greater scrutiny of WIT, that is animal market, in China, Southeast Asia, and many other countries around the world. Some people say that this coronavirus originated from China market, the fish market. So there is a need to regulate these kind of markets which are more vulnerable for these kind of pathogen attacks. There is also a need to eradicate animal forms that breed and trade exotic species. You know, exotic alien species are considered as a major threat to biodiversity of the region. Considered as a major threat to biodiversity of the region. There are number of examples of that. Alien species destroy the native plants and also animals. So if you destroy the native plants, that means you are damaging the biodiversity of particular region. If you damage the biodiversity, that means you are reducing the resilience of a particular region. And if resilience reduces, that means that region becomes more vulnerable to diseases. For example, in India, P. juliflora, P. juliflora that attacked the Aravalli Hills. This is a exotic alien species that attacked the Aravalli Hills, and now Aravalli Hill का जो local biodiversity था, that got damaged. That got damaged. So these kind of trade in exotic species we must protect. We must regulate. Next is such wet markets and breeding centers increase the potential of zoonotic transmission of unknown deadly viruses, and hence a need for greater monitoring. Potential of zoonotic uh, transmission. Zoonotic transmission, that means the disease that transmit from animal to man, human, animal to human. So we have to monitor these kind of markets to reduce or you can say eliminate the transfer of diseases from animals to humans. For example, in case of corona, people say that it came from fishes to human. For example, we got the uh, Nipah virus, so that it's also said that some kind of animal transferred that to humans. Efforts need to be Ebola. Ebola came from bats. Bats say Ebola came to human. So efforts need to be made to pass and enforce legislation to control the domestic consumption of wild animals, which also contribute to environmental conservation. Number of people hunt, poach the wild animals for their domestic consumption. Domestic consumption is not that it is not related only to the meat consumption. It also may be related with the some you can say tusk of uh, elephant selling consumption market is developed for that. So here in first point, India can build multilateral cooperation. There are the different global powers. India got good relation with them. So India can lead the way in reshaping the global world. India can make efforts to strengthen the sites, that is more regulation of wet market, that is animal market, and regulation or I would say monitoring of exotic alien species and monitoring of genetic transmission of unknown deadly viruses, and also in encouraging other countries to pass and enforce legislation to control the domestic consumption of wild animals, which also contribute to environmental conservation. For example, in India we have Wildlife Protection Act, Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Now this Wildlife Protection Act has number of schedules, schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3, schedule 4. So in schedule 1 जो भी species होगा that is prohibited to be hunted. उसको अगर hunt करते हो there will be a good सजा मिल सकती है, उस imprisonment भी हो सकता है. Now next one, promotion of yoga. So ancient already we have strived for that, and now 21st of June is declared as an International Yoga Day. So ancient Indian practice of yoga is known to boost immunity levels through the cultivation of healthy mind and body. So yoga creates the harmony between body and the mind. And also through number of practices of yoga, you can boost the immunity level. And also some our Prime Minister said that we should consume the warm water and some kadha bola tha unhone. So these things boost the immunity. Warm water always boosts the immunity of the body. So this is the time to further reinforce the worldwide practice of the yoga. So yoga के जो different stages होते हैं, different ways होते हैं, it also boosts the immunity of the body and also increases the harmony between body and the mind. Next is potential to emerge as a pharmacy of the world. So India's readiness to ship the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine to fight COVID-19 is in consonance with the ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Foreign policy, the basic principle behind foreign policy of India is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, whole world is my family. And India exported this HCQ medicine, anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine, and this is in consonance of our foreign policy, the principles of our foreign policy. Now India's strength in generic medicines can be leveraged to establish it as a pharmacy of the world. Generic medicine, that is unbranded medicines, and branded and generic medicines both got the equal capacity to eradicate the disease. So here generic medicines are more affordable. So the countries like less developed countries, least developed countries, developing countries, even in developed countries, these generic medicines are in huge demand. So India can supply these generic medicines to different countries and make the healthcare system more affordable to poor population. So in this way, again, India can lead the world. Next is, this provide an opportunity to promote Ayurveda, which complements the yoga. India is a leader in field of yoga. India is leader in field of Ayurveda also. Ayush Ministry हमने बनाया है to promote this. So similarly, Ayurveda can be promoted along with yoga also. So this will again help India to increase its status in the world. So यहाँ समझ में आया सभी को promotion of yoga. Yoga increases the harmony between mind and the body and boost immunity. And worldwide practice हम yoga का enhance कर सकते हैं and its potential to emerge as a pharmacy of the world. So India can lead the world in the production of generic medicines and make the healthcare system more affordable. Shreyas understood. Thanks. Okay, okay. पूछना होगा कुछ भी तो पूछना है, ठीक है? Just about typing things. Next is India can strengthen biological weapon convention. Now see, many people say that this COVID, that is coronavirus, came from China. And that is true. But they also said that it is lab made, it is human made. So that is not as of now proved. Even if it is not proved, we must be prepared for the biological terrorism or weapon convention kind of things. So India can strengthen biological weapons convention of 1975. It is a disarmament treaty that does not prohibit the retention and use of biological agents, including coronaviruses, for preventive uses, which encompass the medical research of diagnosis and immunization. It has no verification protocol to deal with any suspected use of biological agents. So here need modification. Indeed, UNSC can investigate complaints in this regard, but the veto power enjoyed by the permanent members, including China, renders it powerless. Now see here the catch. Even if United Nations Security Council can investigate the complaints in this regard, but the permanent members of UNSC enjoy the veto power. So how can China allow the investigation on itself? It will of course put the hold by through its veto power. So in Biological Weapon Convention Conference in 2021, India could engage in consultation with other middle powers to evolve a regime that can provide better oversight. We have another article for that, how India can prepare to tackle the biological weapons. Okay, so in this field, that is in this field, India can again lead the whole world. India must push for multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. Multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. So as of now, you see the number of companies, giants of internet, all coming from developing countries, especially US and some countries in Europe. So post COVID-19, there will be greater reliance on artificial intelligence, surveillance technologies, online platforms, and big data. So now see, अभी एक इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में आर्टिकल आया था, a company used the big data analysis to process the huge data to develop the vaccine, to get some knowledge about the virus and develop vaccine according to that knowledge, on the basis of that knowledge. What are the strains of that particular coronavirus, how the coronavirus behaves, what are the cells that coronavirus attack, what kind of antigens can be produced. So this big data analysis things again require good protection of internet, because the data is shared across clouds. Other is artificial intelligence. We have seen a number of robots deployed across hospitals in Tamil Nadu to save the humans contact with coronavirus patient. So these things are the future things, जिसको बोलते हैं Industrial Revolution 4, and that IR4 will be driven by artificial intelligence, machine learning, surveillance technologies, online platforms, ICT and big data analysis and all. So India need to work on that, and India is a IT powerhouse in the world. We got the Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India. We got number of other hot spots that excel in IT industry. For example, Hyderabad, Chennai. You got Bengaluru and also Noida, Gurgaon. So these areas must be identified, and there must be some big push for artificial intelligence, and we have seen the supercomputer mission. So online platforms, big data, surveillance technologies, these things are the future. These things are got the potential to solve the many problems in the future. So India can again lead in these things. Hence, there is a better governance model. So conclusion is, despite hardships, India can and must take the lead in bringing the world together to practice a new multilateralism that places the common interest of humanity above narrow national interest. ठीक है? So शुरू से देखते हैं तो इंडिया कैन बिल्ड मल्टीलैटरल कोऑपरेशन to streamline multiple international organizations to take up the concern of humanity and whole world, not only of developed world. Again, India can make effort to strengthen the sites, that is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, promotion of yoga to increase the harmony and also immunity, and potential to emerge as a pharmacy of the world in generic medicines, Ayurveda. Other is India can strengthen biological weapon convention to make it a more, you can say, widespread, and other countries की जो concern है वो भी इसमें solve करे जा सके. Other is India can push for multi-stakeholder model of internet governance. समझ आया ये आपको सभी को? Shivanand, yes, yes. Stress, yes. Okay. So there are three small news. WordPress Freedom Index. WordPress Freedom Index. ये prelims के लिए है. In the latest survey of Reporters Without Borders. Now see, in 2016, or you can say 2017, in UPSC IAS exam, civil services exam, we had one question. It said that Reporters Without Borders is a, ठीक है, 4 ऑप्शन था, उसमें एक ऑप्शन था नॉन गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, तो दैट वाज करेक्ट. उसमें एक ऑप्शन था गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, फिर उसमें एक था कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी, इस तरीके की चीजें थी. तो ये दिस इज द एनजीओ. ठीक है. So Reporters Without Borders, ये क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. And Reporters Without Borders publish this WordPress Freedom Index. हर साल एक क्वेश्चन दो क्वेश्चन इंडेक्स पे आता ही आता है. So this is important. Reporters Without Borders publish WordPress Freedom Index. Now India dropped 2 places on the Global Press Freedom Index, ranking to 142 in the list of 180 countries. Now number of parameters are there to identify the rank of a particular country. For example, the safety of journalist. Other is Whistleblower Protection Act, these kind of things. Other is censorship, कितने articles censor किए जाते हैं. Paid news, these kind of things. So these are the parameters how to decide the rank of a particular country. So India's neighbor Bhutan, Nepal, and Sri Lanka are ranked higher in the list. And of course, they rank in most of the times higher than the India. Bhutan, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. So Norway ranked first in the index for fourth time continuously, consecutively, fourth time ranked first. Norway. And China at 177 is just 3 places above North Korea, which is at the bottom, that is 180. So North Korea at the bottom and China 177. China, we have no freedom related with press. वहाँ पर जो पार्टी का एक स्पोक पर्सन होता है चाइना में, जो पार्टी है पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, that acts as a newspaper, and that media is again state media. Private media is something discouraged in that country, and that's why we have no exact data related with COVID-19 cases and the associated deaths. So India ranked 142nd, and it is published by Reporters Without Borders. And India's neighbor Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka ranked above, and China, that is 177, Norway at first, and North Korea at the bottom. Okay. Other is EcoSense. EcoSense, that is a portable biosensor that can be used to detect the presence of novel coronavirus antigen in human saliva within 30 seconds using just 20 microliter of the sample. 20 microliter. Micro means 10 to the power minus 6. That is very less. So within 30 seconds you can identify कि कोई इंसान कोरोना पॉजिटिव है या नेगेटिव है. It will not take 2-3 days to get the information about the status of disease. So this is a biosensor. Now it is developed by researchers from National Institute of Animal Biotechnology, Hyderabad. National Institute of Animal Biotechnology, NIAB, Hyderabad, is developed EcoSensor, that is biosensor. That is biosensor, and that can detect the presence of novel coronavirus antigen in humans saliva within 30 seconds using just 20 microliters of the sample. Okay. Now next one, Bay of Bengal boundary laser experiment. Bay of Bengal boundary laser experiment, that is BOBBLE. A team from Indian Institute of Science, that is IISc, Bangalore, UK-based University of East Anglia, have created a blueprint for accurate prediction of monsoon, tropical cyclones, and other weather-related forecasts. इसका पूरा detailing अभी नहीं आया है. It's only something related with monsoon, tropical cyclones. So अगर question में आ सकता है कि BOBBLE recently seen in news is related with, ठीक है? So you can write that the prediction of monsoon, tropical cyclones, these kind of things. समझ गए? इतना 3 समझ आया आपको? WordPress Freedom Index, Reporters Without Borders, EcoSense, that is biosensor. ठीक है? Biosensor, so that will identify the presence of novel coronavirus antigens in human saliva within 30 seconds. Other is Bobble, that is with IASC and the UK-based University of East Anglia. Sonal, yes, yes, yes. But others can also write. There are 20-25 people. Sakshi, you are not active. Yes, oh yes. Ritik, not active. Manisha, not active. Okay, sir, I am listening. Okay, okay. Sakshi. Next is universal biodeterrence. Many people say that this coronavirus is a biological weapon developed by China. So we'll see that how India can prepare itself to fight these kind of bioterrorism. So COVID-19 pandemic has awakened the world to destructive potential of a possible biological weapon. COVID-19 pandemic has awakened the world to destructive potential of a possible biological weapon. Many see COVID-19 as a quasi-biological war in its scale, scope, duration, and impact. Health and biosecurity have thus become paramount in national security in 2020. Okay? So this kind of virus attack, and that is looks like developed by some country, damages the economy of a particular country, human life, and also impact every aspect of the political functioning of a particular country and whole world. So how we can manage these kind of threats in a more coherent manner? So here, challenges of biological weapons. What are the challenges of biological weapons? First one, difficult to differentiate between intentional harm and accidental transmission. Maybe corona ka, if it is, I'm not saying if it is lab made, intention may be to damage the economy of a particular country, but accidental transmission is the killing of the people, damaging the health sector. Economy, of course, it's now got damaged, but these are the accidental transmission. Next is new biological agents cannot be anticipated. कब कौन वायरस बना के छोड़ देगा पता तो थोड़ी ना है. If you are fighting a war with Pakistan, you can see that yes, this is the border and the गोली उधर से आने वाला है. Now new biological agents you can't anticipate. पानी से आएगा, हवा से आएगा, कहाँ से आएगा. Highly transmissible and deadly. You can see that coronavirus, the cases are increasing worldwide, in India of course. So highly transmissible and deadly. A time lag in finding treatment and vaccine inflict high morbidity and mortality on defenseless population. As of now, there is no sign of vaccines. Of course, there are a number of reports are coming in. Today's newspaper, there was Israel that developed, some Oxford University is doing things, but but in next 5-6 months, nothing is going to happen in this field. China intensely hide the severity of the virus and also Italy. Yes, of course. China intensely hidden the severity of the virus and had accumulated the resources. There are allegations. China is going to suffer a lot in international goodwill field, of course, if not in economic field. So time lag is there. Finding a treatment, vaccine, कब attack हुआ, then identify the strain, the developing of vaccine. There is a huge time lag. जब तक वैक्सीन आएगा एंड वैक्सीनेशन होगा लोगों पॉपुलेशन तक, उसके बीच में it can damage whole of economy and take away the life of number of people. So latency period and mutation into different strains make disease detection and control difficult. For example, coronavirus. Coronavirus got many strains. वो अपना रूप बदलता रहता है. And because of that, it becomes difficult to develop a treatment or develop a vaccine. Because एक के लिए बनाओगे दूसरा change हो सकता है. Maybe that vaccine may not be effective on one person and may be effective on second person. There's some question. Sir, what is herd immunity? Herd immunity is easy things. Herd immunity means होता है, for example, one person got impacted and through that second person again got impacted, third person again got impacted, fourth person again got impacted, and this first person had severe symptoms, third asymptomatic, maybe four is again mild symptoms. So these third, fourth can develop antigens, some kind of immunity against the coronavirus because it's already got the attack by the virus. So जो हमारा cells होता है, they develop a memory cells. जो हमारे सेल होता है immune system, वो immune system will develop a memory cell. So next time जब भी attack होगा coronavirus on that person will not get impacted by the coronavirus again because its immune system develop a memory cell. ठीक है, इसको बोलते हैं herd immunity. When the mass scale population got impacted by the coronavirus or any other disease, then population develop immunity to that strain. Now see, many times आपने देखा होगा न्यूज में, उसमें WHO बोलता है कि it's not guarantee that a person came out of or recovered from this COVID disease will develop immunity. बहुत बार आपने सुना होगा न्यूज में. It's because coronavirus got the habit of developing different strains. You may got the immunity from one strain and may get impacted by the second strain. So second strain का है, that is totally all different. और उसका immunity cell तो हमारे पास है नहीं, immunity memory cell तो हमारे पास है नहीं. So second kind of strain may impact us. So it's not always guaranteed. Of course, a single kind of जो strain होगा, disease होगा, उससे immunity develop हो जाएगा. So herd immunity is possible only when mass scale disease prevalence happen. अगर mass scale में disease फैलती है, then you can say that the country or a society or a community has developed the herd immunity. So अगर herd immunity India को कराना है, that means we have to develop some kind of 35-40 crore cases. So that is not desirable as of now. It affects the armed forces capacity to deal with conventional and terrorist attack. Now see, every day you see number of militants in Kashmir now being attacked. They attack the army person and also army person respond that. They take the advantage of this COVID. Pakistan sees that India is now engaged in COVID crisis pandemic. So to total focus now shifted to manage the pandemic, and in the meantime we can cross the border and penetrate into the population of the uh, Indian country, population of Indian society, so they can do their own damage. So some people, कल ही आपने सुना होगा, our prime minister in NAM summit, NAM virtual summit, he said that some countries are spreading the virus of terrorism. अभी कुछ दिनों पहले आपने देखा होगा कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट ऑफ वेस्ट चंपारण district magistrate DM of West Champaran district in Bihar, he sent a letter to central government, said that some 200 COVID positive people are there on the Nepal, on the near India Nepal border side. They are there to cross the border to Indian side and spread this COVID in India. So these kind of activities again enhance and again damage the impact the armed forces capacity. Amenable to be used by non-state actors, bioterrorism by non-state actors through accidental release or theft of biological disease agent from research facilities. बहुत सारी movies आप लोग देखते होंगे. Or you have, if you have seen Inferno, the movie है Inferno, तो वहाँ पर देखना biological weapon they steal from the research facilities and try to spread that disease among the population. So mass contagion and fatalities can bring even the most powerful economies to a halt. Societies can be put into turmoil and governance can suffer serious crisis. So these are the challenges of biological weapons. Biological weapons challenges: the difficult to differentiate, the intentional harm and accidental transmission. Second is new biological agents cannot be anticipated. Third is high transmissible and deadly. Fourth is time lag in finding treatment and vaccine. Other is latency period and mutation into different strains make the disease detection and control difficult. It affects the armed forces capacity to deal with other conventional and terrorist threat. Amenable, अभी आपने ये भी देखा होगा कि BSF, some more than 200 people of BSF got impacted by the COVID. Even today, some 25 BSF persons in Delhi got impacted by this. Amenable to be used by non-state actors, that is terrorists can steal the this biological disease agents from research facilities. Same case with nuclear things. So mass contagion and fatalities can bring even the most powerful economies to a halt. Other is societies can be put into turmoil and governance can suffer serious crisis. इतना समझ में आया सभी को? Next is measures needed to tackle the dangers of bioweapons. How we can handle the bioweapon? Yes. First one is integration with national security. So biosecurity should be mainstreamed into our defense, security and counter-terrorism strategy. अभी हम exercise करते हैं, some disaster management का exercise करते हैं, you can say some हम urban terrorism के लिए exercise करते हैं with different countries. We exercise for the prevention of forest fire. So similarly, these kind of exercises to manage the pandemic situation, epidemic situation or health crisis should be the integral part of our security architecture or security strategy. A dedicated national rapid deployment biosecurity force should be established. dedicated National Rapid Deployment Biosecurity Force should be established. Next is, this would consist of armed forces भी होना चाहिए, उसमें पुलिस भी होना चाहिए, हेल्थ रिस्पॉन्डर्स भी होने चाहिए, जो डॉक्टर्स, पुलिस, आर्म फोर्सेस who perform frontline pandemic related bio defense and disaster relief and response roles. So that in that team to manage the pandemic like situation, we must have armed forces, police, health responders, doctors, nurses. Other our national rapid deployment biosecurity force should be established. National rapid deployment biosecurity force need to be established and make this disease or health crisis integral part of the security architecture. So this is the first system. Second is developing biointelligence. We got terrorist related intelligence. Similarly, we must develop a biointelligence. So effective, credible national and international biointelligence system, especially for new disease and potential bioweapons, should be put in place. And that again should be integrated with RAW and our IB. So national defense intelligence should incorporate medical intelligence and infectious diseases risk assessment and pandemic predictions. Next is, countries should develop national strategies for biointelligence and cooperate with other friendly biosecurity powers. Countries must cooperate with other countries in the field of biointelligence. Okay? And national defense intelligence should incorporate medical intelligence, infectious disease, risk assessment, pandemic prediction. Effective, credible national and international biointelligence system should be established. So these are the 2 points. First one, integration with the national security. Other this the managing the pandemic or disease kind of things should be integral part of the security structure. Other is developing biointelligence. So next one, biosafety of research facilities. Government and private R&D lab, biotech and virology centers need to be catalogued according to established safety levels, especially for dangerous biological toxins. Protocols in case of accident and theft need to be established for that. अब suppose China has developed that virus. Suppose China has developed that virus, but the intention of China authorities was not to spread it, but somehow someone stolen that biological weapon from the lab and spread to the atmosphere, to the people, to the community. So how we can stop these kind of thefts? So we have to catalog the virology centers, biotech, R&D labs, and protocols in case of accident and theft need to be established for them. Other is developing multilateral biosurveillance mechanism, same like you got intelligence kind of thing, empowering WHO health security mechanism to, to surveil and access facilities in countries free from geopolitical pressures. Non-proliferation and export control on dual-use biological materials and technologies. All countries need to recommit to a doctrine of universal biodeterrence. Universal biodeterrence. Other is change in governance. Countries need to make all normal laboratories and medical facilities transferable into a seamless biosecurity infrastructure for quick and reliable testing. For quick and reliable testing. countries should pursue national self-sufficiency in medical and healthcare supply chain. अभी मे बी एक वीक के पहले जब मन की बात हुई थी तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने बोला भी था, it's time to become self-sufficient. India must become self-sufficient in many things. So in healthcare and medical, India again need to be self-sufficient. We have seen that kids came from China and those kids were malfunctioning, not giving us proper results of corona positive cases. So I'm not saying that intentional export from China, the faulty kits, they exported the faulty kits, there may be some mistake, but we must be self-sufficient in those things. So conclusion, India needs to propel the early reinforcement of biological and toxin weapons convention with a comprehensive legally binding protocol on credible biosurveillance, verification and compliance mechanism at a 2021 review conference. The biological weapon convention 1975 है, that is review convention होगा. इतना समझ में आया सभी को? Challenges of biological weapons, there are a number of challenges and then measures to be taken. Integration with national security, you can say developing biointelligence, biosafety of research facilities, developing in multilateral biosurveillance mechanism, changes in governance, etc. One thing. Sakshi, yes. Sonal, yes. Okay, okay. Sivanand, yes. Yes, yes. Acha, Sonal. Sakshi, are you appearing this year? UPSC में? Yes, okay. Sonal, Sakshi, Sivanand, Kesav appearing this year. Shreyas, are you appearing this year? Kesav, no, you're not appearing. Shreyas appearing. Okay, so you got the enough time, right? You're the lucky people, right? You got 2-3 more months. Next year, Kesav appearing, Shreyas appearing. Okay. So you got अभी बहुत दिन का time है. You got May का time है. You got June. You got July also. Exam may be in August or September. That is less likely again. The best case is August or September. Worst case maybe after this year. So here you got May, June, July, 3 महीने का time है. Start with NCERT again if you have the problem, the concept. Current affairs तो increase हो गया. No, no, no. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. अगर एग्जाम लेट्स सी अगस्त में होता है, then focus on current affairs from October last year. October, November, December and then January to July. और करंट अफेयर इंक्रीज हो गया. करंट अफेयर कौन सा बड़ा बात होता है? तो एक छोटा सा बुकलेट होता है 100-150 पेज का किसी कोचिंग का, उसको बार बार पढ़ लेना होता है, बस 2-3 बार हो जाता है चीजें. देखो और दूसरा चीज ये भी है, यूपीएससी फोकसेस ऑन मोर कॉन्सेप्चुअल थिंग्स. करंट अफेयर्स तो होगा, मे बी 15-20 क्वेश्चन रहेगा, बट कॉन्सेप्चुअल थिंग्स में कमांड होना बहुत जरूरी है. In geography you focus on मैपिंग एक बार और कर लो, जियोग्राफी क्लास नोट्स दोबारा रिवाइज कर लो, प्रैक्टिस लास्ट ईयर का 10 साल का क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस कर लो, सम टेस्ट सीरीज को प्रैक्टिस कर लो अगेन दोबारा। हिस्ट्री में और भी फोकस करो, दो बार एक बार बुक पढ़ लो, और भी एनसीईआरटी जो भी है, बिकॉज 11th एंड 12th का एनसीईआरटी, एंशिएंट मेडिवल एंड बिपिन चंद्रा और स्पेक्ट्रम जो भी पढ़ते हो आप, उसको पढ़ के अगेन लास्ट 10-15 ईयर्स के क्वेश्चन कर लो। अगर वो घटना चक्र है तो देन यू गॉट स्टेट पीएससी के भी क्वेश्चन मिल जाएंगे उसमें, तो वो भी कर सकते हो। इन्वायरमेंट वो अच्छे से कर लो। तो इस गुड टाइम टू यूटिलाइज, दिस इज ब्लेसिंग इन डिसगाइज, राइट। 3 महीने का टाइम बहुत होता है एटलीस्ट, वो भी एटलीस्ट, आगे और भी बढ़ सकता है। एटलीस्ट 3 महीना, 3 महीने में अगर 15-15 दिन भी एक सब्जेक्ट को देखोगे ना, तब भी हो जाएगा सारा चीज, ठीक है। अगेन आल्सो पेपर सेकेंड, दैट इज सी सेट, उसको भी करके जाना है, बिकॉज दैट इज लास्ट ईयर इट वाज अ बिट ट्रिकी, तो थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट बनाते जा रहे हैं, बिकॉज दैट इज क्वालिफाइंग, कम नंबर लाना होता है, तो उसको भी थोड़ा बहुत कर लेना। मे बी लास्ट ईयर के क्वेश्चन और एक दो टेस्ट सीरीज वगैरह कर लेना, एक एक या दो पेपर, so that will be enough. So focus more on basic things, करते जाओ basic things, and current affair daily 2 hours, that is enough. 2 hours current affair daily करो with some magazine, और उसको बार बार पढ़ते रहो। बेसिक्स एक बार और ट्राई करो, 2 बार खत्म करने का जब तक एग्जाम होगा। यू ऑल कैन पास, ठीक है, यू ऑल कैन पास। Sivanand, okay sir, we'll try your best. You can, believe me, you can, you all can pass this exam. The thing is कि अभी 3 महीना यूटिलाइज करो बहुत अच्छे से, श्रेयस, अच्छे से यूटिलाइज करो 3 महीना, और ऐसे नहीं कि लॉकडाउन में फंसे हो तो पढ़ो नहीं, घर पे बैठ के पढ़ते रहो। ओके, सो दिव्या सर, व्हाट वी डू, वी हैव 3 years. ओके, first is NCERT develop the base. Now there is a structure, right? उस स्ट्रक्चर को फॉलो करना है। फर्स्ट एनसीईआरटी, देन सेकेंड स्टेज स्टैंडर्ड बुक। फॉर एग्जांपल पॉलिटी का एनसीईआरटी पढ़ लिया आपने, 9, 10, 11, 12 एनसीईआरटी पॉलिटी का कर लिया आपने। देन लक्ष्मीकांत, सेकेंड स्टेज लक्ष्मीकांत। थर्ड स्टेज again divided into 2 parts. Third stage, one is prelims question, second is mains question. So first NCERT, second standard books, and third is practice. So for example पॉलिटी में NCERT आपका फर्स्ट स्टेज होगा, तो एज ऑफ नाउ आप NCERT उठाओ 4 क्लास का, 9, 10, 11, 12 और NCERT पढ़ डालो जल्दी जल्दी, जितना जल्दी कर सकते हो। एंड देन यू गेट द लक्ष्मीकांत उठाओ, दैट वाज अ बिग बल्की बुक, होगा उसमें 700-800 पेज, तो उसको 6th एडिशन नया खरीदना, उसको पढ़ना। एंड देन we go for the prelims question practice and mains question practice, लास्ट ईयर वाले सारे, और टेस्ट सीरीज भी ये सॉल्व कर सकते हैं। So there must be a systematic approach to the exam. First basic books, very basic books, and then standard books, then question. So there are some issues like some misguidance in the coaching industry. Many people say that कि start answer writing. अभी कल तो ज्वाइन किया है कोचिंग, और आज आंसर राइटिंग कैसे कर सकते हो जब कुछ आता ही नहीं होगा? So first basic, very basic NCERT, then change it to the graduate it to the standard book, and then you start practicing your prelims question and also mains writing questions. तो जब आपको बेसिक पता होगा, स्टैंडर्ड बुक भी आपने पढ़ लिया, तो जब प्रीलिम्स के क्वेश्चन करने जाओगे लास्ट ईयर वाले, वो सारे आपको आ रहे होंगे, और जब आ रहे होंगे तो अगेन कॉन्फिडेंस अच्छा रहेगा और आप सॉल्व करते चले जाओगे। और अगर आप पहले दिन से ही क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने लग गए या आंसर लिखने लग गए तो देयर विल बी अ बिग प्रॉब्लम, क्योंकि कुछ आ नहीं रहा होगा और क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं कर पा रहे होगे, फिर आप सोचोगे यार हम कहीं गलत जगह आ गए हैं, ये मेरे बस का नहीं है, मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा। then that will act as a demotivating factor, right? So first is NCERT, NCERT से start करना है, then standard book and then the question practice. Now thing is ये जल्दी जल्दी करना है, ऐसा नहीं कि NCERT लगाने में आपने 1.5 साल लगा दिया, ये गलत बात है। NCERT पॉलिटी का 4 क्लास 1 महीना, ठीक है? And then similarly economics, then standard book, and पहले NCERT, then standard book, then prelims main question. Similarly geography, first is NCERT 9, 10th, 11, 12, especially 9, 10th, 11 का तो कर लेना, तो 3 क्लास का कर लिया ज्योग्राफी। and then standard book में you need to be very selective, ये पढ़ना है ये नहीं पढ़ना है। फॉर एग्जांपल इंडस्ट्री पढ़ना है, मिनरल्स पढ़ना है, some river system, drainage pattern, river linkage, some current events, some let's say agriculture development, some issues related with drought, some issues related with floods, some issues related with agricultural diversification, farmers income, how we can make the agriculture system more remunerative. So those things becomes standard part. So first you complete the NCERT of geography and then go to the standard part, and then prelims and main question. Sir, how much time should I give to one subject and what should be the revision strategy? So time and NCERT, maybe you can divide the time of day in 2 parts. First half give to one subject, second half give to second subject. And you got the 3 years, so I would suggest you as of now neglect your optional, because there are talks of optional को हटाने का, तो अगर कुछ रिफॉर्म करेगा it will be on safe side. So as of now optional को रिजेक्ट करो. So half time one NCERT, half time second NCERT. So maybe 3 hours one NCERT, 3 hours second NCERT, इसको करते चले जाओ. And then revision, you decide one day of a week, maybe Sunday as a revision day. तो जितना भी आपने 6 डेज में पढ़ा है वो संडे को आपको रिवाइज करना है, और यू कैन से कि जो 6 डेज में पढ़ा है तो उसको नेक्स्ट 2 डेज रिवाइज करोगे, देन नेक्स्ट 4 डेज आप पढ़ाई करोगे, देन नेक्स्ट 2 डेज रिवाइज करोगे, देन नेक्स्ट 4 डेज पढ़ाई करोगे, इस तरीके से कर सकते हो। तो दैट विल बी अ गुड आइडिया, ठीक है? और अदर इज कि अगर रिवाइज करना है तो दिन का जो 6 आवर्स है उसको आप 8 आवर्स कर सकते हो, 8 hours, 6 hours one NCERT, 3 hours one NCERT, 3 hours second NCERT, and 2 hours आपने जो पहले पढ़ा हुआ है 2-3 दिन पहले 4 दिन पहले उसको रिवाइज करना है। इस तरीके से आप डिवाइड कर सकते हो। एलेक्स, स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स फॉर ज्योग्राफी, ज्योग्राफी का स्टैंडर्ड बुक देयर इज अ Kuller, KHULLAR, Kuller, a book by D. Kuller for Indian geography, that is a standard book for geography. But there is no single book in geography that tells you whole syllabus of UPSC. This is the something problem in geography. So Indian geography, that is Kuller, and world geography, you can say the principles of geography, that is Savendra Singh, वो आता है फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी, सविंद्र सिंह, वो आप कर सकते हो। अगेन You need to be selective on the topics of these two books. You need not read, study all the chapters and all the topics within the chapters in that two books. So what you can do is uh, you can buy these two books and get the chapters ticked by the faculty. Now economy standard books, I think Pramod sir is better place to tell you. Pramod sir बता देंगे आपको. Or you can buy that is Ramesh Singh एक book आता है, वो आप खरीद सकते हो. Other is संजीव वर्मा book, वो भी आप ले सकते हो. So समझ में आया दिव्या and Alex? हाँ जी बोलिए. दिव्या yes, Alex yes. Okay. So we'll continue now. कोविलपत्ती कडलाई मिठाई, इसको जियोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन मिला है, टैग मिला है अभी. कोविलपट्टी कदलाई मिठाई. Ananya, what is the second book you suggested for geography? That is Physical Geography by Savendra Singh. Physical Geography by Savendra Singh. So that is a beautiful book, but you need to study only selected chapters, not all. उसमें कुछ 7-8-9 चैप्टर्स है, वही पढ़ना है. Okay. कोविलपट्टी कडलाई मिठाई, इस तरीके के क्वेश्चन प्रीलिम्स में आते हैं बहुत. ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन किसको मिला, एंड देन एक साइड में लिस्ट 1 दे देगा, लिस्ट 2 दे देगा, फिर कोविलपट्टी कडलाई, वहां पर आगे तमिलनाडु लिख देगा, देन यू हैव टू मैच. ठीक है, इस तरीके का क्वेश्चन आता है. सो कोविलपट्टी कडलाई मिठाई दैट इज चिक्की और स्वीट मेड ऑफ पीनट्स एंड जैगरी. वो पट्टी आता है ना यार पीनट का, वो हैज गॉट ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन टैग. ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन टैग. So it is produced in Kovilpatti and adjacent towns of Tamil Nadu. कोविलपट्टी एक एरिया है तमिलनाडु के अंदर, वहीं पर मिलता है, वो वहीं पर प्रोड्यूस करा जाता है. So uniqueness about the sweet the ingredients, वो उसमें जो जो ingredients यूज करे जाते हैं वो क्या होते हैं वो हम देखेंगे. Used for its manufacture which are procured from geographical area of कोविलपट्टी. उसी geographical area में ही वो जो पैदा होते हैं इंग्रेडिएंट्स वही यूज करे जाते हैं, कहीं बाहर से इंपोर्ट नहीं होता है. नाउ इंग्रेडिएंट्स इंक्लूड ग्राउंडनट्स, जो मूंगफली होता है, मेड इन नेटिव ग्रोन इन नेटिव ब्लैक सॉइल ऑफ कोविलपट्टी. तमिलनाडु में भी ब्लैक सॉइल है, तो जो तमिलनाडु का जो कोविलपट्टी का एरिया है वहां पे जो ब्लैक सॉइल है वहां से जो ग्राउंडनट पैदा होता है वही यूज होता है. ऑर्गेनिक जैगरी यूज करते हैं, ऑर्गेनिक जैगरी गुड़ यूज करते हैं. एंड वाटर सोर्स फ्रॉम तमिर बर्नी रिवर, ऐसा कोई भी वाटर नहीं यूज करते हैं, तमीरा बर्नी रिवर से भी वाटर यूज करते हैं. सो जैगरी वाटर फ्रॉम द रिवर एंड groundnuts from the black soil. So these are the ingredients used, and it is produced using viragu uduppu, that is firewood stove. उसके अलावा गैस स्टोव यूज नहीं करते, फायरवुड स्टोव यूज करते हैं. अंकित कुमार, सर मेरी तो ज्योग्राफी बहुत वीक है, मुझे तो 6th की एनसीईआरटी भी समझ नहीं आती. 6th की एनसीईआरटी समझ नहीं आ रही है. what we can do now, ज्योग्राफी का क्लासेस होगा ऑनलाइन. एनसीईआरटी क्लासेस को प्रभु सर ने बोला होगा ना कि होगा ज्योग्राफी क्लासेस. तो ये क्लासेस में आप डाउट्स ले सकते हो, और एनसीईआरटी की क्लासेस होंगी ज्योग्राफी की. अदर इज एनसीईआरटी इज मोर ऑफ आप मैप साथ में रखना, एंड एनसीईआरटी बुक, कॉपी पेन, उससे पढ़ते जाओ, देन मेक द डायग्राम एंड सी कि रिवर कहाँ से जा रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, इधर से क्यों आ रहा है। सम काइंड ऑफ नेट सर्च भी कर सकते हो पर्टिकुलर रिवर के बारे में। अदरवाइज क्लासेस होगा, समझ में आएगा आपको। अंकित, एंड ज्योग्राफी इज समथिंग a bit technical but very easy। इससे इजी सब्जेक्ट हो ही नहीं सकता यूपीएससी में। ठीक है अंकित? अरे भाई साहब बोल तो दो। सो कोविलपट्टी कडालाई मिठाई कहाँ से है? तमिलनाडु से। ठीक है, एंड इस इंग्रेडिएंट्स क्या होते हैं? ग्राउंड नट, ऑर्गेनिक जैगरी एंड वाटर फ्रॉम तमिराबरनी रिवर। इतना जरूर ध्यान रखना। अदर इज कश्मीर सैफरन, जो केसर आता है कश्मीर का। तो कश्मीर सैफरन हैज गिवन अ ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन टैग बाय ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन रजिस्ट्री। So it is cultivated and harvested in करेवा, जो रीजन है, जो सॉइल है, दैट इज उसको बोलते हैं करेवा सॉइल्स। करेवा सॉइल लैक्टोस्टीन डिपॉजिट्स होते हैं। अक्षांश देशांतर समझ नहीं आ रहा। अंकित, आज हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट? अक्षांश देशांतर समझ नहीं आ रहा। अंकित, अंकित, आर यू हिंदी मीडियम स्टूडेंट और इंग्लिश मीडियम? And don't worry, some faculty will come up to teach this Achan, Desantar and all other aspects of geography. Okay? And these things you can also talk with the Pramod and get the schedule done when these topics will be covered. ये टॉपिक कब कब कवर्ड होगा, ये प्रमोद सर से आप पूछ सकते हो। एंड सम फैकल्टी विल कम, डोंट वरी, कोई ना कोई तो आएगा एंड वो पढ़ाएगा आपको ये सारी चीजें। एंड दैट दिस इज वेरी इजी है। छांद देशांतर, ये सारा चीज बहुत इजी है और आपको बहुत समझ में आएगा। ठीक है, डरने का जरूरत नहीं है। और ये बहुत इजी है, कुछ भी टेंशन नहीं लेने का है। अभी आप देखो, जब भी आप यूपीएससी तैयारी करते हो ना, तो टेक अप द इजीएस्ट सब्जेक्ट, जो सबसे ज्यादा समझ में आए आपको, उसको सबसे पहले पढ़ो। बिकॉज यू गेट सम कॉन्फिडेंस, आपके अंदर कुछ कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा। एंड देन आपको फिर डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट्स में भी आप धीरे धीरे करके आगे बढ़ते चले जाओगे। सो इजीएस्ट सब्जेक्ट जो आपको लगता हो सबसे, जैसे कि पॉलिटी होता है इजी सब्जेक्ट, तो वो पॉलिटी को क्या बोलेंगे, राजनीति शास्त्र, तो वो आप पढ़ सकते हो। ठीक है, तो उसको एनसीईआरटी उसका ले लो, पॉलिटिकल साइंस का, तो वो एनसीईआरटी सारी खत्म कर दो। और अभी ज्यादा नहीं आ रहा तो 6-7 से ले लो, या अदरवाइज 9-10 से पढ़ना शुरू कर दो। तो उससे पता चलेगा कैसे पॉलिटी इंडिया का ऑर्गेनाइज है, किस तरीके से चलता है, वहां से कॉन्फिडेंस धीरे धीरे आएगा। एंड देन टेक अप द इकोनॉमिक्स। ज्योग्राफी आपको अभी टेक्निकल, थोड़ा सा टेक्निकल है, तो उसमें आता है प्रॉब्लम, बिना टीचर के समझ नहीं आती चीजें ज्योग्राफी में। तो डोंट वरी, कोई ना कोई आएगा और वो पढ़ाएगा। ठीक है, और हिंदी मीडियम में होना कोई गुनाह नहीं है, ये समझ में आएगा सारी चीजें। ये डरना नहीं है कि मेरा तो हिंदी मीडियम है, इंग्लिश मीडियम वाले सब कर ले जाएंगे, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता है, सब फालतू है। आराम से सब चीजें समझ में आएंगी आपको। द थिंग इज कि आपका डेडिकेशन होने चाहिए, आप घर पे पढ़ते रहो। प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस प्रैक्टिस। एक बार समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, दोबारा पढ़ो, दोबारा नहीं आ रहा, दोबारा पढ़ो, दोबारा नहीं आ रहा, चौथी बार पढ़ो, आएगा किसी ना किसी दिन पक्का। इनिशियली थोड़ा मेहनत भी करना होता है, इट्स नॉट दैट इजी। इनिशियली थोड़ा सा मेहनत ज्यादा करना होता है, एंड पुश योर सेल्फ, थोड़ा अपने आप को उस तरफ ढकेलो कि 2 घंटे पढ़ रहे हैं, नहीं 4 घंटे करेंगे, 4 नहीं तो 8 करेंगे, करते रहेंगे, बस पढ़ते रहेंगे। ठीक है अंकित? सर तो मैं समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या लिखा है। यस, तो मैं इसमें इंग्लिश मीडियम। अच्छा, आप आईएएस की प्रिपरेशन में इंग्लिश मीडियम लिया है? देन प्रिपेयर द सिलेबस। अच्छा अच्छा, देन प्रिपेयर द सिलेबस, और जो भी आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हो ना, वो भी यूपीएससी का इंग्लिश मीडियम में ही देखो, फिर अक्षांश देशांतर भूल जाओ, एंड देन फोकस ऑन लैटिट्यूड लॉन्गिट्यूड, इन सब में फोकस करो। धीरे धीरे लर्न करना शुरू करो। पहले तो हिंदी आपको पता चलेगा, एंड देन डिक्शनरी में देखो इसका हिंदी मीनिंग क्या होता है इंग्लिश में, एंड देन इंग्लिश वर्ड को याद करो। ठीक है, एंड देन जो न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना शुरू करो, धीरे धीरे वो इम्प्रूव हो जाएंगे। ये बहुत बड़ा डील नहीं है, वेरी इजी। 3 महीना 4 महीना पढ़ोगे और चीजें आने लग जाएगी। ठीक है, तो डिस्करेज नहीं होना है, मुझे अभी ये नहीं आता वो नहीं आता, या सिक्स का एनसीईआरटी नहीं आता है। सबके साथ ऐसे ही होता है जब शुरू में पढ़ते हैं, धीरे धीरे करके सारी चीजें अच्छे आने लग जाते हैं। कब आपको एग्जाम देना है? सब धीरे धीरे करके आने लग जाएगा, सो नीड नॉट वरी अबाउट थिंग्स। ठीक है, ओके। So Kashmir saffron has been given geographical indication. Ankit Kumar, this year, and you have taken English और क्लास 6 का एनसीईआरटी नहीं आता है। Have you filled the form? Of course, form तो भरा होगा। I would suggest then skip this year. Why to waste attempt? अगर तैयारी नहीं है तो why to waste attempt? Attempt को waste मत करो। अगर इस साल ही देना है और अभी आपने एनसीईआरटी नहीं पढ़ा है, and you have just graduated, तो अभी इस साल अच्छे से पढ़ाई कर लो, देन टारगेट नेक्स्ट ईयर। Okay, okay. Then you can appear. Okay, Ankit, you can appear then. Then it's okay. You can appear. हाँ, you can appear. Then it's okay. आप देख लीजिए ये सब सही है या नहीं है, ये सारी चीजें। Okay, done. You can appear. आप appear कर लीजिए and don't worry about anything. Just read it out, work hard, and everything will be fine. Okay. Daily classes join करना है, and everything will be okay. Don't worry, Ankit. Kashmir saffron has given a geographical indication. It is cultivated and harvested in Karewa. Karewa lacustrine deposits होते हैं, lake deposits in Jammu and Kashmir में, और ये फेमस है वर्ल्ड वाइड फॉर इट्स सैफरन वैरायटी ऑफ केसर जिसे बोलते हैं। सो यूनिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक होगा सैफरन का, वो होता है लॉन्गर थिकर स्टिग्मास होते हैं, मोटे मोटे जो बने होते हैं, एंड नेचुरल डीप रेड कलर होता है उनका, एंड हाई एरोमा, bitter flavor, chemical free processing, and high quantity of crocin, that is coloring strength, and safranal, that is flavor, and picrocrocin, that is bitterness. It is only saffron in the world grown at an altitude of 1600 meter to 1800 meter above the mean sea level. 1600-1800 मीटर सी लेवल के ऊपर से ग्रोन उगाया जाता है, कश्मीर में पैदा होता है. And it is renowned globally as a spice, मसाले में गिना जाता है इसको. And it rejuvenates health and used in cosmetic, medicinal purposes and traditional कश्मीरी cuisine में इसको यूज करते हैं. केसर डालते हैं वहां पर, कुछ भी बनाते हैं तो. सो यहाँ पर 3 मिल गया, कोविल पट्टी, कश्मीर सैफरोन, ठीक है. एंड दिस वाज आल्सो इन न्यूज. चकमा हाजोंग, इसको आप इसलिए याद रखना है कि these are the two communities that came from Bangladesh, and they are, you can say, illegal migrants living in northeast India. जिसमें चकमा क्या है, this is Buddhist and Hajong are Hindus, Buddhist and Hindus. So Ministry of Development of this, you can say, Development of Northeast region, that is donor, has directed Arunachal Pradesh government to include Chakma and Hajong communities in COVID-19 relief program. अरुणाचल प्रदेश में रह रहे हैं, COVID-19 relief program. यहाँ पर आप डायग्राम में देखोगे तो you can say that they crossed over from Chittagong, that is Bangladesh, to our Mizoram Lusai Hills region में, and then to various parts of Arunachal Pradesh, that is Subansiri district, Lohit district, Tirap district. Okay, and that they came out because their land, their villages, their area submerged because of Kaptai Dam on Karnapuli river. Okay, so the government said that Chakma and Hajong communities must be included in this COVID-19 relief program, because their livelihood is also impacted. They should also be given some kind of relief, food or some employment. ठीक है, तो चकमा एंड हैरोंग ये दो communities है living in Arunachal Pradesh. I came out of Bangladesh because of Kaptai Dam built on Karnapuli river. Now there are two other got the geographical indication. One is चकहाव and second is गोरखपुर टेराकोटा. चकहाव एक राइस होता है, चकहाव राइस होता है, वो हमारा होता है यहाँ पर मणिपुर में. तो चकहाव क्या होता है, ब्लैक राइस, काला काला राइस, यहाँ डायग्राम में आपको दिख रहा होगा, ब्लैक राइस ऑफ मणिपुर. एंड गोरखपुर टेराकोटा have been given this geographical indication. चकहाव has been cultivated in Manipur over centuries, बहुत दिनों से पैदा हो रहा है वहां पे, and it is characterized by special aroma and is normally eaten during community feast के टाइम पे इसको खाया जाता है. And चकहाव has also been used by traditional medical practitioners as a part of traditional medicines. So this rice also got this rice also got medicinal property and huge uh, important place given in Manipur community. And this rice, black color rice, Chakhaw, is given geographical indication. Next is Gorakhpur terracotta is a century-old traditional art form where the potters make various animal figures like horses, elephants, camels. ये सारे खिलौने जिसे बनते हैं. Hand applied ornamentation, ये काफी सुंदर बनाते हैं. तो इस क्राफ्ट को, स्किल को, you got the geographical indication that the art form को geographical indication मिला. So you got the four: Gorakhpur terracotta and Chakhaw rice. The two were Kashmir saffron, and the other was Kovilpatti Kadalai mithai. साक्षी, हाँ हाँ बोलो बोलो. Sir, I had only read 11, 12 NCERT and GC Leong and your notes. हाँ, इतना तो बहुत है. 11, 12 NCERT, GC Leong and your notes. The only thing you need to do is just supplement these notes with some current status like इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट, सम इंडस्ट्री में अगर करंट आया हो तो वो, सम मैप वर्क कर लेना, सम एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन डेटा, बिकॉज 2020 चल रहे ना, तो 2010 से कंपेयर करने के एक दो क्वेश्चन पक्का मिलेगा उधर. सो राइस जिसे पूछ दिया, राइस प्रोडक्शन हैज इंक्रीज्ड सिंस 2010 to 2020, तो दैट वाज करेक्ट. तो इस तरह के क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. और पल्सेस का एरिया अंडर पल्सेस कल्टीवेशन हैज कंसिस्टेंटली इंक्रीज इन लास्ट 1 decade, इस तरीके के क्वेश्चन पूछ सकता है वहां पे. सो दीज थिंग्स यू नीड टू learn, or you can make notes from agriculture at a glance by agriculture ministry. एग्रीकल्चर एट ए ग्लांस एक रिपोर्ट आता है, 2018 का आया हुआ है अभी, तो उसमें डेटा रहता है, टेबल्स बनी रहती है, तो वहां पर आप देख सकते हो एग्रीकल्चर एट ए ग्लांस. और जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ जो माइंस मिनिस्ट्री है, माइंस एंड मिनरल्स, तो उस मिनिस्ट्री में आया होगा मिनरल्स एट ए ग्लांस 2018 रिपोर्ट. मिनरल्स एट ए ग्लांस 2018 रिपोर्ट, तो उसको भी लेकर के वहां पे टेबल वगैरह बने रहते हैं, कहाँ पे कौन सा स्टेट कौन सा मिनरल ज्यादा पैदा करता है, कहाँ पे मिलता है, तो वो उसका भी नॉलेज आपको मिल सकता है. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीजें सप्लीमेंट कर लो एंड यू गॉट द इनफ थिंग्स डन. 11, 12 NCERT, GC Leong, your notes, that's good. And then supplement with some current and some factual data. Other is practice last 10 years का क्वेश्चन प्रैक्टिस करना है, and then टेस्ट सीरीज भी करना है. ठीक है साक्षी? ओके ओके ओके. So I've noted down agriculture at a glance and minerals at a glance. गूगल में लिखोगा आ जाएगा, 18, 19 का मिल जाएगा आपको. ओके. सो इतना समझ में आया सभी को? हाँ जी, कुछ डाउट है, पूछना है? श्रेयस, यस यस यस. Sonal, thank you, Sonal, thank you. All clear. Sivanand, okay, good, good. चलो, we'll stop here and take care. सभी लोग अपना अपना ध्यान रखना. And situation in Delhi becoming very dangerous. So घर के अंदर ही रहना है, बाहर नहीं जाना. अनन्या, all fingers. Thank you everyone.